Have you ever prayed and felt like God was not listening? Like your words just floated into space? I've been there, talking to God, begging for answers, and feeling like nothing came back. But everything changed when I shifted into what I now call the state of sacred frequency. That's the place where God speaks back. And God is always speaking. You just have to be in the room to hear. So shift now to enter the state of sacred frequency where God speaks back. In this episode, I'm going to show you how a practice as ancient as our ancestors can get you back into that divine frequency where you stop chasing and begging and start receiving. And at the end of the video, I'm going to lead you into a very brief mini ritual to help you shift into the state of sacred frequency where God speaks back. I put it at the end of the video because I want you to sit in silence after the video is over so you can hear God. You're going to need a candle for this, so go ahead and get one now. Be careful where you place that candle. You want a flicker and not a fire. You can also use the battery-operated candles. Okay? I use those often. As a matter of fact, I'm burning some right now, the battery-operated ones. But big up yourself, originals and visionaries. Welcome to the sacred space of self-reclamation and self-reverence. If you're a childhood trauma survivor, you're especially welcome. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Yes, do it right now. Thank you. And leave a thumbs up and a kind comment. Thanks again. Well, why might God feel distant? For our ancestors, hearing God was as natural as breathing, as natural as taking a sip of water, because they were fully aware that they were extensions of God. Today, however, trauma and the pressures of life have dulled our spiritual ears. We've been conditioned to prioritize the material over the internal. And even though some of us have all we could want, we are still empty. That's why you have people ending up on a line or in jail behind some crazy lifestyle, hedonistic parties, reckless, self-destructive things to fill themselves up and to feel worthy. We have things and experiences, but we don't have serenity. We don't have real consciousness of being. We lack self-reverence. We have no real self-love. And I say, self-love is as close as you can get to God. Now, religion, while that might be powerful for some, it can sometimes make us overly dependent on forces outside of ourselves. Religion fails most of us, so we don't have self-possession, which is also God possession. We are taught reverence for God, but not reverence for our own humanity or our own soul. We deny or disregard the sacred state of the original self. But our original sacred self always had a connection to the divine. Before trauma, before colonization, before all the noise. So, the shift isn't about becoming something new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. This remembering is the frequency where God speaks and we hear. That is the state we must return to. And this state is not just a mood. It is spiritual alignment. It's not a fleeting feeling. It is a frequency, a sacred posture of the soul that opens up a direct line between you and God. And once you enter it, everything changes. You stop striving and start receiving. Now, this frequency that I'm talking about is the energetic tone of your being. It's what you consistently think, believe, and radiate. And it determines what you tune into spiritually. In science, frequency relates to the rate at which a vibration occurs. Everything in the universe, including your thoughts and emotions, carries a frequency that affects what we attract and experience. So, let me summarize. Spiritually, frequency is the energetic tone of your being, what you consistently think, feel, believe, and radiate. Scientifically, it's the vibration that you emit, and both determine what you tune into, including whether you can hear from God. And you know what? Some of you enter that space of hearing God unknowingly. So you don't get the full benefits of it because you don't go in intentionally. Okay? Now hear this. Intention is a frequency. It's not just what you think. It's what you feel, what you believe, and what you broadcast into the world. When your intention is clear and aligned with your original self, you tune in to the divine frequency where God speaks back. So, what we're studying is both spiritual and based. So, your subconscious plays a role. And I am reading The Power of the Subconscious by Joseph Murray. Okay? The Power of the Subconscious. The subconscious is our direct line to the divine. Direct line to the divine. What? Did I just rhyme? I just rhymed. The subconscious is our direct line to the divine. Write that in the comments. Type that in the comments. The subconscious is the direct line to the divine. Type that in the comments if you like my rhyme. Joseph Murray teaches that the subconscious has all the answers. When we feed it divine imagery, sacred focus, and intention, it begins to work on our behalf. Yeah, the subconscious does not argue. It just receives. So, when you enter the state of sacred visualization, you are planting divine codes into your spirit and your subconscious. Now, the subconscious and the spirit are deeply connected, but they are not identical. The subconscious is like the inner chamber of the mind where impressions take root, but the spirit is your divine essence, your eternal self, your soul's frequency. So, when we enter sacred visualization with divine intention, we plant divine codes into the subconscious and awake the spirit. And that's how we align mind and soul to hear from God. This state that we're talking about is a little harder to reach for survivors of childhood trauma. And so I hold great compassion for us. It's like we have to come so much farther to breach the veil and to break through the matrix itself. And for us, that matrix is not just cultural, it is deeply personal because self was attacked from an early age and buried, hidden deep. So we went underground and now we have to dig ourselves up again. It's hard work. So I offer you, if you are a survivor of childhood trauma, a shovel to unearth yourself and a way to shift state. It's an ancient, sacred technology as ancient as our ancestors and proved by science to work. It is not just daydreaming, not like AI technology that we use now, but it's more like sacred spiritual technology. Our people practice this in ceremony, in community, in the village. And so this is the basis of the We Are Creators Visualization Clinic. And if you want to learn effective and purposeful visualization techniques, join me and a small, intimate group of like-minded individuals as we practice unlocking this ancient spiritual to manifest desires, healing, and divine alignment, guided in a sacred circle of awakening souls. Healing in community. Trauma can isolate us. So, practicing visualization with others reminds you that you are not alone. In our clinic, you get to witness the breakthrough of others and be reminded that your own transformation is possible too. Yeah, so we do work in terms of mental rehearsal and becoming your future self. Mental rehearsal is seeing and feeling yourself as the original sacred self. It is the embodiment of your highest timeline. Your highest timeline is the version of your life that unfolds when you are fully aligned with your soul's purpose. When you are making these decisions from your original sacred self, instead of from fear, conditioning, and trauma. It's not a fantasy. It is a frequency. And when you embody that version of you through sacred visualization, you start magnetizing the people, guidance, and miracles that match that path. The universe responds not to what we want, but to who we are. So when you shift into that version of you, the one who already has peace, clarity, and connection, you become a match for divine download. So let's talk about the power of community. Practicing visualization in a sacred circle isn't just support, it is spiritual synergy, the shared intention of the group raises collective energy. That's why visualization works faster, deeper, and more consistent and that's exactly why I created the We Are Creators Visualization Clinic. Not just to teach visualization, but to practice it together, to hold each other's sacredness and sacred desires in a virtual village. So who's the clinic for? Not only is it for those who have lost their way and cannot hear God, who feel stuck and are wondering what now, it's also for you who think you have everything you need and you don't need a group visualization session. So you have everything. Is that all there is to you? That's it? You have everything you need and that's it? You stop growing? You don't have a deeper depth to explore? You don't want to know what else there is to you? And what else you can be or do? You're 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Have you thrown in the towel? Do you really believe that there is a more to you that a visualization clinic can help you uncover? You may be living your dream life, but is that all there is to your being? And with all the troubles in the world and all the uncertainties, we need to be firmly anchored within ourselves so that if we lost everything, all our money, all our opportunities, loved ones, we would still not lose ourselves. We would still not lose our self-value, and our connection remains intact. The clinic. If you've been feeling disconnected from God, stuck in your head, or unsure of your next step, maybe the shift isn't outside of you. Maybe that shift you needs to come from within. It's not about money and things and opportunities and other people. Going to a deeper dimension of who you are, not just your external. Shift now. Enter the state of sacred frequency where God speaks back. And meet your future self in the process. That self that's been waiting for you to catch up and remember. Join the next clinic. Let's visualize the life soul remembers. Let's do that together. The link is in the description box or in my bio, or you can DM me, okay? And so now I'm going to close with that little ritual that I promised you in the beginning. So get your candle and begin to center yourself. Take a few deep breaths. Okay, so close your eyes and breathe. Take a deep breath in and release. Open your heart and breathe out all the striving and all the tension. Let the noise of the outside world melt away. You are entering sacred space. Say this softly or say it in your heart. I am returning to the frequency of the divine. I am available to receive. I no longer chase. I allow. If you have your candle nearby, light it now. Let it represent your soul coming online, your sacred yes to divine connection. Place your hand on your heart and feel the quiet. Feel the yes. You are here. Now, I want you to listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. We're not asking, we're receiving. This is the frequency where God speaks back. Sit there and listen.